because you're going to need it. Big boy pants and big girl pants as well, some honest answers. So this week I titled Mantras, Moods, Energy and Gratitude. Sounds a bit fluffy and a bit airy, but trust me, you'll see it's not. Because it forms nicely into when you go on a change process. A lot of the things you need to change. Because a lot of people, when they go on a fitness journey, a weight loss journey, or anything, strength building journey, if you don't sort out everything else that's in the way, it's a bit like changing the tires on your car and keep driving down a road full of nails. You're never actually solving the problem. You're always starting again and changing your tires. So you need to make sure the road is not full of nails so you can keep going. Because most people keep going to the start of the road again, replacing the tires and go again, get a puncture and come back. So this is why all the things we're looking at in terms of beliefs, mindset, habits matter. So let's get into this week. He says. Go on. How's that not working? Okay, so first point I want you to consider as we set the tone for tonight is to focus on the positive, because we either water flowers every day or we're watering weeds. Now, what does that mean? The metaphor is you get to choose whether you focus on all the bad in your life or you get to focus on the good. Now, most people who are happy, fully functioning and successful in whatever their field and whatever they're chasing tend to focus on watering the flowers and not watering the weeds. Because again, what you give your energy to grows. So if you keep focusing on what's not right and what's wrong, you'll get more of it. What you focus on, you get more of. Remember that. Okay? So, first exercise, we're getting straight into it. So think about this, and I want you to do it now, and I'll explain it afterwards. If you woke up on a morning and you wrote down, today's feelings I want to feel are 3 things. You could say excited, motivated, driven, disciplined, happy, fulfilled, grateful. It could be anything. Just think of 3 things you would want to feel in a given day. It could be unstoppable. It could be unshakable. It could be anything. Unfuckwithable. That's my favorite. So this is an exercise I do with some clients. And it's a great way to get people to train the brain to look for and think about, how do I want to go into, how do I want to attack my day? Do I want to be a leaf blowing in the wind? Or do I want to actually set the tone as I get up and go, right, we're having it today. Watch out, I'm coming. You know, it's about setting your intention. Because like I've said, what you place your attention on is very important. So we're just layering this up and we're just putting it all together. So every morning, I would implore you to do your version of this if you don't think that's the right way to do it for you. But actually think, what do I want to feel today? And if it's excited, motivated, disciplined, on track, in control. Some people say, I want to feel in control because they feel like their life's chaos. I want to know what I'm doing. I want to have my meals sorted out and I want to be in control. Therefore, I feel confident that I'm going to get what I want. And therefore, 3, I'm going to feel happy. Yeah? So that is something that I want you to think about. Now, it's your choice. I can't make you do it. You're grown-ups. But I would say to you, if not, when you first wake up on a morning, it could be when you are driving to work in your car or walking to work. You can say this out loud. What do I want to feel today? I want to be happy. I want to be grateful. I want to feel in control. Because remember, what you say to yourself over and over and over has a hypnotic subconscious effect if it's repeated enough times. So things you say to yourself when you wake up and things you say to yourself when you are going to bed and drifting off have a powerful impact on your subconscious mind. So that's why this exercise, when you wake up on a morning, is important. What do I want to feel today? I want to feel energy. I want to feel happy. I want to feel, driven. Whatever it is for you, because it's all subjective, is this, but whatever's important to you. Likewise, when you go to bed on a night, we're going to come to that in a bit. Then the next thing is, this is because. So what we're doing here is we're using your brain and we're connecting dots. So if you say on the last slide, I want to feel, number one, I want to feel energy today. I want to feel energetic. This is because, number one, that's going to help me smash my workout and I'm going to turn up at work and I'm going to deliver the energy that I want everyone to see I've got. If you put number two on the first slide, I want to feel driven. This is because it's going to help me cut through the bullshit and excuses and make me do what I said I was going to do and not be the king of the shitheads and full of it. Yeah. So how do I want to feel? This is because. So you're connecting the two. It's not just fluffy, airy promises. You're saying what you want to feel, and then on the next lines underneath it, you're writing down, this is because, energy because of that, driven because of that. I want to feel confident because I've got a presentation that I want to smash out the park and I want to get a promotion next month. So you connect one to the other. So there's actually meaning to it and an actual outcome. All right. So remember, what feelings do I want to feel? This is because afterwards. Connect the dots. The third part to it, connecting the dots even further. I'm willing to do. Not I'm thinking about, not I might do, I should do. If I've got time, I will. All those weak excuses. This is I'm willing to do. So here, what you're saying is I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get to the gym today. If to walk on broken glass, I'm getting to my class. If you said I want to be confident, I'm willing to do, I will do some NLP anchoring drills, which takes seconds, but it just means I'm not lazy. I will get it done to help my confidence. If you say I want to feel energetic, I'm willing to do, well, I'm willing to get the right food in my body. I'm willing to drink 2 liters of water. I'm willing to get to bed on time. You say what you're willing to do. And you, again, if you notice, it says at the top, I'm willing to do, not I'm gonna do, I'm thinking of. It's I'm willing to do. No turning back, no ifs, no buts, no flakiness. I'm willing to do it. So you can see how it's layered in the 3 parts. How do I want to feel today? This is because, and then what you're willing to do. So what you're doing is you're ruling out any excuses, you're ruling out all the crap you've used to said to yourself, and you're saying, this is what I'm willing to do to get there. Make sense? You know it makes sense.
Yeah.
The next part we're moving on to is people talk about energy. And energy is a massive part in not just this 6-week experiment for you and driving new habits, beliefs, cultures into your life and everything else that you're going to do and become. Energy is just, it's so important. And this is why I want to talk about it now. Now, if you think about it, when people say I've got no energy, I will guarantee if certain things happen to them, they would have energy. if they was chased by a lion, my guess is they'd find some energy. There has to be an environment and triggers and states of mind and thoughts and things we tell ourselves to create energy. We don't get it, we create it. So how do we get energy and create energy? We control focus. So again, if we focus on things that inspire us, podcasts in the car, if you listen to the news in the car on the way to work, well, my guess is you're going to feel like shit at work. That's not going to inspire you or create any energy. But if you listen to things that build you up, control the focus of what we watch, what we listen to, what we read, and the people we hang around. We control the focus of everything. If you hang around people who piss and moan all day, you will be another person that pisses and moans. Talked about environment previously. This is what we're talking about, controlling focus. Number 2, asking the right questions. If you ask the wrong questions, you won't have good energy. How can I do this? What can I do right now? What's the best option for me right now to get this done? How can I overcome this? Is this a problem or is this an excuse? Has someone else with my particular challenge overcome this? And when you ask yourself that question, you realize, well, people with no legs have got up Everest. There's people who are blind that play the drums. There is people who've overcome anything. So realistically, when you hold that mirror up to yourself, you think, what am I actually saying here? This is the moment when you ask the right questions, where you have a word with yourself. And you say, why am I making excuses when somebody with bigger problems than me has overcome this? So that's the tough talk in the mirror with yourself, that is. Asking the right questions. I can't get to the gym today. Really? Really? Well, if I can't get to the gym today, what can I do? Can I go for a run? Can I go for a walk? Can I do some burpees? Can I go, if I'm staying in a hotel, can I do some press-ups and burpees in the hotel room and go run around the block? There's always a solution to whatever is in your way. But if you ask the right question, you'll find the right answer. 3, nutrition and hydration. If you are not hydrated and you've not got optimal nutrition, energy will always be a problem. But you can always, through controlling focus, asking the right questions, always help with that. But that is a building block, a pillar of your energy. Good sleep. So you should always maximize your sleep. So no matter what's going on, do the best you can to have the best sleep possible. And number 5 is daily movement. Now, motion creates emotion. Energy is like something in motion. Most people that slob about have no energy. But you find people that are always moving and have a bit of energy and good body language have more energy. So think about that carefully. We've got to look at that and think, well, sometimes, yes, you want to rest, you want to get 7 to 9 hours sleep. But during the day, sometimes sitting down for long periods doesn't create energy. Yeah? We want to get movement. You know, stand up, puff your chest out, get some movement. You know, if you are somebody who's quite expressive, often that helps with your energy. If your body language is head down, shoulders slumped, oh, why does this always happen to me? That don't create energy. So you've got to do what you can to snap yourself out of where you're at. You've got to change your state. We've talked about state control. Movement is part of that. You've got to move. You've got to move. All right. You can see where this is going. 3 points. If I had more energy, I would. So what would you be? Would you get more workouts in? Would you get more steps in? Would you not slouch on the sofa and think, oh, I'll get my meals done tomorrow morning? If you had more energy, would you prep your meals? I bet you would. If you had more energy, would you be a better partner, better father, better mother, better lover, better boss, better friend? Who likes to be around people with good energy? Everyone does. You don't want to be around the pissing and moaning and the, oh, them people. Energy vampires are the worst. So if you protect and look after and create more energy every day, you'll have a better social circle, you'll have better relationships, you'll do better at work, you'll train more often, you'll be one sexy badass mofo. And you can write that one down. And this one is something, I'm going to give you a book recommendation. I gave you one last week and I'm going to give you one this week. And this book is a bit of a game changer. I've given it to clients before. I've bought them a copy. I've said, if we're going to work together one-on-one as part of my programs, you have to read this book. So if you think about gratitude, people always, what do they say? Believe it when I see it. Oh, believe it when I see it. How about if you lived your life with the mantra, I'll see it when I believe it? So think about that paradigm shift right there. You're flipping your life on its head, because rather being the negative Nelly who's, oh, I'll believe it when I see it, you're living your life from, I'll see it when I believe it. Because if you attack life with a belief that you're in control and that you steer the ship and that you're going to make shit happen, not the other way around, stuff starts showing up in your life. Everything I've said I'm going to do in my life and believed has happened. Everything. Because all these exercises I'm doing with you guys, I do. So, little story for you here. When I was 13 years old, I walked into a gym called UK Workout in Bristol, just down the road from IKEA. And there was a guy there called Richard Walker who owned the gym. And I saw him sat there and I thought, do you know what? He is living the dream. I said to myself, one day I'll own a gym like this. 2010, I actually owned that gym. That exact gym. Not any gym, that precise exact one. So what I thought and said to myself was going to happen, but I didn't sit at home and wish for it. I worked for it. I worked 3 jobs. I saved up a ton of money. I did the best apprenticeship anyone could do. I managed clubs, became an area manager and a national manager for big gym chains. So I learned how to do it, and shock horror, 2010, it became a reality. So when you say you're going to do something, words have power, but they only have power if you then act upon it. But you should always believe that things will happen. Because without the belief, you don't act upon it. Because if you think, well, I'll never get there, or I'll never achieve this, you don't then even take the steps to make it happen. So it starts with a belief, and then it's the daily work. So you start with a belief, you do the work over time, and these things show up. And if that's getting on stage for a fitness competition, if that's running a marathon, if that's starting your own business, if that's finding the right partner for you, trust me, these things can be applied for all that stuff. Okay? So gratitude's about, I'll see it when I believe it, and it's about believing it. Here we go. I think everybody, whether they do it before bed or tea time or whenever you want, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, what 3 things am I grateful for today? Now, those things there, if you've had a day where it feels like it's going to hell in a handbag, that's the days where this is more important than the days where it's all going well. So if you've had a day where your dog doesn't even look at you the same way, if you've had a day where Greggs have sold out of sausage rolls, if you've had one of those days, you know, you buy the bottle of wine and you drop it before you get it home and it smashes on the drive, one of them days. Yeah, where it's all going to wrong. That is the day when you need to do these exercises. So what you do is you find 3 things that you're grateful for in that day that has been a shocker. So it can be, do you know what? I had a great conversation with an old pal that I saw at a bus stop. It was great to see somebody who I haven't seen in a long time. Today, what did I do? Do you know what? I actually hit my protein goal. My diet was terrible, but I hit my protein goal today. What you're trying to do is extract 3 great things. So on a good day, you might say, smash my workout, work was awesome. You know what I mean? I looked in the mirror and saw progress. But not every day is going to go like that. You've got to do this exercise on the days where it's not gone well. Because they're the days where you throw the towel in. They're the days where you go off track and stay off track. Do you know what? Number one, what am I grateful for today? Normally today, I would have absolutely thrown the towel in and got a massive KFC, stayed up late, binge watched a box set, but I didn't. Do you know what? I got to bed on time, even though my day was a shocker. You know, my partner actually spoke to me today. She normally gives me the cold shoulder. I mean, that might not be a great thing, but I don't know. I don't know about your relationship, but it's not couples counselling this, by the way. So you find 3 things that is good in your day. And I'll guarantee you something now. When you've had a real shocker of a day, if you look for it, you can find 3 things. Because, you know, I've had days where I've you know, had, you know, some pretty bad, challenging stuff happen. And you can always find what, you know, on the day my father passed, you know, what am I grateful for on that day? Well, I'm grateful that I had an amazing dad. I'm grateful that I had a role model that was so amazing. I'm also grateful that he had a happy marriage for 50 years to my mum. So even in the day where you have tragedy, you can still find 3 great things in your day. And it's learning to program your mind to look for the good, not the bad. Remember how we started this call? We either water the flowers or we water the weeds. If you look at what you're grateful for, you're looking at the 3 things you're watering the flowers. You're not watering the weeds. And this is about habits and discipline, training your mind to focus on what's good, building your energy, looking at what you're going to do about it, why you want it, focusing on what's good in your day, not what's bad. Because often when you go to bed and you think about everything that's wrong in your day, that festers in your mind while you sleep. We talked about the programming of your unconscious mind. What you say and think about and write down when you wake up and just as you're going to bed are probably the most important things for your mind you can do, period. Because you go to bed with positive thoughts and you go to bed with it. If you wake up with positive things, positive affirmations, what you're going to do today, how am I going to feel today, what am I going to tackle today, it sets you up for the right day, and you go to bed then with the right things that germinate while you sleep in your mind. And that, I would suggest to all of you, is how you want to live your life. Not in fear, not in reactive mode like Gareth Southgate does. You want to be proactive. Here's what we're going to do. Irrespective of what comes my way, here's what we're going to do. We're not going to wait for the opponents to score to make 3 subs. And most people live their life like that, reactive. Be proactive. Here's what my day is going to be. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's my energy. Here's what I'm going to do about it. At the end of the day, review it. What's been great today? What am I grateful for today? Be proactive with everything you do. Talk about food prep. That's been proactive. Eating at the petrol station and Greg's, that's been reactive. We want to be proactive in everything we do, not reactive. Sometimes you have to be, because when the shit hits the fan, you've got to react. But you want to stack the cards in your favor whenever you can and be proactive. Yes, you're going to have to react to certain things, but if you just go into your day reacting to everything, like I said at the start, you're going to be like the proverbial leaf blowing in the wind. And I don't think anybody wants to live their life like that. You want to feel like, do you know what? I've got a locus of control here over what I'm going to eat, how I'm going to exercise, and how I'm going to think. And if something comes along to test me, well, I'll react to it. But if I go in with the best possible mindset and energy, I'm probably going to react better than if I was just walking through life like that. Having control, being proactive. And like I said, before you go to bed on a night, what am I grateful for today? And always attack your days positively and go to bed positive thoughts. Next statement is, you don't need permission to be happy. Because most people live their life saying, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I get the promotion, when I'm earning 50 grand a year, when I can finally shop at Marks and Spencer's for my food, and the list goes on. You know, when I can wear that t-shirt, I'll be happy. You can still be happy on the journey, because you need to start enjoying the process, enjoying becoming a new version of yourself. Don't postpone happiness for a day that's not promised to any of us. So when you are on the process of building a better version of yourself, a happier one, you can be happy on the way, you know. You don't have to have permission. And whenever I hear when I open up to a client who reaches out to me for help and coaching and all the rest of it, oh, my life's in chaos, and oh, my marriage is this, and oh, my job's this, and I want to build a business, and oh, I always hear them say, well, I'll be happy when. And I write down all the things they say, and it's usually, oh, I'll be happy when when I've got a great relationship. I'll be happy when I'm fitter. I'll be happy when I've lost weight. I'll be happy. And I'm like, well, you're postponing a lot of happiness here, because there's a lot of big things you're saying. You need to learn every day through your mind, through controlling your focus, asking the right questions, being grateful on the night. You can actually be happy during this process. It doesn't have to be painful. Okay. And they're the slides for today, guys. So, questions time, because some of that stuff might have hit you between the eyes. Some of it might not. Some will just fester in your mind, and I think I'll hit you later if you review your notes. Any questions about what we just talked about?
No, unfortunately, I've not got a night, Miles.
Well, did it make sense, Scott?
No, I'm pretty happy with my energy. Sometimes I could notch it down a bit, but I'm more leaning towards discipline. But some of it definitely hit on, obviously, the gratefulness and stuff like that. I must agree for that.
Yeah, because you know what you appreciate appreciates.
Yeah.
So you get
Definitely
more.
not taking stuff for granted. 100%.
Because if you appreciate things, they appreciate. You don't take them for granted. You're grateful for them. And as well, I know, like you're saying about your energy, but
Yeah.
it's being able to manage your energy when things don't go to plan. And it's about managing your energy when somebody's pissed you off. It's about managing your energy when things don't go well at work. It's about managing your energy when you've had a row with your partner or your kids have annoyed you. So it's about state control. It's about looking at managing your energy, asking the right questions, and just having good routines before you go to bed, when you wake up, the questions you ask yourself, and that laser focus about your energy, because people can have energy, but it's misguided.
Yeah, definitely. I make ensure the sleep one is the big one to make sure that I've got enough energy for the following day, 100%.
So it's focusing on the big rocks, the important things that are going to move the needle. Because people, I know lots of people with lots of energy, but they, forgive my crudeness here, but they get fuck all done. So, when I say to people on a coaching call and I get a client, a one-to-one client on, and I say, how's your energy been last week? And they go, oh, you're great. I'm going, well, tell me about your achievements. What did you do? Well, I did. I'm like, well, how much money did you make? How many workouts did you do? Did you build your social media like you said you would? Well, and there's more excuses than a pregnant nun. So energy has to be focused into what is important. So what I do is I get people on the right track, and I'm like, right, the critical things for you, for example, are these three things, because you're not mastering them. And we'll look at, let's put your energy into every way we can tackle those three problems or that one problem. So your energy, like I said in this presentation, is about focus. What do I want to feel today? And if you know you've got specific challenges, I'm focusing on that today. I'm focusing on that today. I'm focusing on that today. Why am I doing it? Because last week I didn't succeed. And this week that's not happening again. What am I willing to do to achieve it? Well, I'm not going to make excuses this week. I'm literally no excuses. And you write down your three things you're willing to do. I'm willing to get up earlier. I'm willing to do whatever. I'm willing to go run on my lunch break. It's about channeling that energy. So having good energy we want, but it's then channeling and focusing it on, what do I actually want that energy for? Because I might be ticking a few boxes, but there's a few every week that I'm never ticking. So if my energy's crap on a weekend because I'm going out late and getting pissed, maybe you need to look at focusing some energy on a weekend. What am I going to do on a weekend to stop me repeating the same pattern every week? And actually planning in your weekend. So if you think, I get home from work on a Friday and I do 2 bottles of wine, if that's a pattern on a Friday, which then means your energy is shit on a Saturday, and you don't go run, you don't go walk, you don't get to the gym, you feel dreadful and you eat crap on a Saturday, well, what on a Monday do I need to plan for Friday? Am I going to plan in a gym session Friday night, and I'm going to plan it in with somebody so they hold me accountable so I turn up? Am I going to go and do something that is not going to let me drink wine on Friday night? So you're planning events to stop you doing the pattern and the behavior that you've always done. So use your energy to plan in these things, so you then have more energy Saturday and more energy Sunday. So energy is not just woo. I'm like Tigger from Thingy, and I'm bouncing about. It's about choosing it wisely. The Euros are on at the minute. The Euros are on. So I'm sure you all know that. I used to play football when I was younger for Huddersfield Town. So I played at a, well, some would say not at a great level, but depends what team you support. And if you think about this, right, in football, you sometimes as well, you have an amount of energy, and you've got to choose to be productive with that energy. So if you are a striker and you just non-stop do sprints and just close down and close down and close down and close down, and the defenders are just passing around you, you gas yourself out. The minute the ball comes over the top and you've got to sprint to beat that defender to score a goal, if you're gassed out, that's not a good use of your energy. So sometimes you have got to pick your battles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being smart with your energy.
Mm.
Because, you know, some people have more energy than others, and we're going to try and build up your energy through your sleep, through nutrition, your mindset, the questions you ask yourself. But still, if you are just chasing every rabbit in a field, you catch none.
Mm.
You've got to pick your battles, and you've got to sometimes be laser focused with your attention and your energy. This is what I'm going after. This is what I'm going to focus on. And I'm going to go all guns blazing down that path. And you can't go down every path. You've got to choose sometimes a few of them. So
I
people
totally get you. Yeah.
go on. So another thing as well. So just quickly on this, Michelle, people talk about balance in life. Now that is extremely hard, and some people will say balance is a fallacy.
Yeah.
Because if you look at anyone who's elite at anything or very good at something, they usually have a single-minded focus. And what that means is there is a level of sacrifice to achieve something. So, for example, if we're looking at getting leaner, fitter, stronger, and all the rest of it, the sacrifice might be takeaways. It might be alcohol. It might be, you know, some of the foods you like. But these are the questions you've got to ask yourself. What do I want? You know, and what am I willing to give up to get it?
My daughter's she competes, she's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So that totally resonates with me, because basically she doesn't have a life.
Yeah.
She has to really focus on it. She competes and she does pretty well. She's athletic, bodybuilder. So she's had a massive transformation over the last 3 years, and she's become very addicted to this style, and she loves the weight training. She loves the whole thing, getting on the stage and everything, you know, and I've supported her and I go with her, you know, but she's had to really fence in her boundaries. So a lot of people who say, you know, she finds it quite difficult sometimes if she goes out to eat. She's not eating, she has to take a Tupperware with her. And she has to put up with a lot of judgment. She actually turned down a wedding invitation because of she's Italian, so it's all very much about food. Yes. So she couldn't cope with all the judgments about her actually not having all the food that they were having, because she was cutting at that time, and it was a coach is very, very strict, like you would be, you know. So she struggles with that, but she's become more resilient to being able to put the boundaries in. But it's about your focus, isn't it, and where you're putting your energies into. 100%. And all her energy are into this, you know, the focus on the diet, the training, and the lifestyle, really.
So that is dedication, commitment, and basically single tunnel vision, blanking out the things there. Now, to get in shape and not to competition shape, that's the caveat to what I'm going to say here, because I've coached people to stage before in bodybuilding shows.
Yeah.
Now, that level of discipline is not necessary if you just want to be in good shape, strong, fit, and happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I've said before about, you know, you've got to look at it. You can plan in and have foods you like, but the devil is usually in the quantity. So having a little bit of chocolate here and there, or having a glass of wine on a Saturday night, is different to having a bottle of wine every night. So like we said, it's about the choices you make, and they affect the outcomes. But your beliefs about what you can achieve will often be like the glass ceiling in your life. Now, running a marathon, some people will say, I'll never run a marathon. People like me don't run marathons. People in my family don't run marathons. I've never been good at sport. That is a typical glass ceiling. That's a belief. Now, if you had the belief that you could do it, you would actually start taking action to make it a reality. And as we know, you start running to the first lamppost, you walk a bit, and eventually you can run 2 lampposts. Before you know it, you're running a kilometre. And before you know it, you're doing your 5K and your park runs. And then before you know it, you are running your marathon because your belief has allowed you to take action upon it. In this process, you have to have the beliefs that I can do this, which then allow your brain and your reticular activating system to look for the solutions to these things. Because when we are closed-minded and we have limiting beliefs and those glass ceilings, we never smash through them, because your brain then protects you and thinks, I will prove myself right. Your brain always wants to be congruent with what you say and what you think. So if you believe you can or you can't, you're usually right, because you'll then try and prove yourself right because you think it and you say it. So it's important, when I said before about your beliefs, and this slide here, which was, I think this one here, I'll see it when I believe it. So you believing things will happen will help them eventually. It's sometimes not in 6 months, it's not in 6 days, it might be in 6 years, because some projects take longer. But if you always have the belief, you open yourself up to the possibility, you will take the actions, you will start using the behaviors that will lead to that outcome. So always, always believe you can do it, because at least then you're opening the doors to the possibility. The minute you think you can't, well, you won't. I think that's a pretty good place to leave tonight. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. Okay. Next week we've got a lot to get through next week, and then at the end of it we've got graduation.
You can't leave us, Miles.
You've got your certificates and everything, your graduation at the end of all this.
That's amazing. Miles, what was the book last week that you recommended? What was the book this week recommendation?
So last week's book was Will It Make the Boat Go Faster? And the book this week, the clue is in that slideshow there. I'll see it when I believe it. It's by an amazing guy called Dr. Wayne Dyer. If you read, this is one of his better books. He's got an incredible book, which I'd recommend anyone buys. It's super cheap on Amazon, and I've given it to so many clients over the years. So this one's called I'll See It When I Believe It. It's a blue cover on Amazon. I bet it's about £6. Probably the best £6 you'll ever spend. And the next book I'd recommend of his is another one, which is called Your Erroneous Zones.
Sounds rude.
It's probably, yeah, almost. But it's probably one of the best psychology and self-help books ever written. And I've pretty much read them all. I've read them all. So I can say that he's got some other good books. One's called Pulling Your Own Strings. But if you're going to read 2 of his books, I'll See It When I Believe It and Your Erroneous Zones. All right. So add them to your Amazon list, get them read, because they genuinely, I would recommend them to anybody. They're such good reads, and you'll have light bulb moments in both of those books as you read them. Okay, guys. Right. So I enjoyed that. I'm going to love you and leave you, and we'll be chatting this week. Let's have a good week this week. Discipline, focus, energy, no excuses. I want to see some good scores on the door Sunday, because I'm going to be coming after people this Sunday in the group. Trust me.
Okay.
So you don't want to see angry
Fabulous.
Miles.
No.
Thanks, Miles.
Sunday, there's going to be naming, shaming, names called, all sorts of stuff.
That's what we want.
Have a good week, guys.
Yeah,
You too, mate. See you all later.
See you later.